Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Angela Braniff, and today I'm coming in with another episode where we are sharing some of our dinners of the week. You guys have really been enjoying my husband's cooking. He has gotten very good over the years at coming up with some really delicious recipes, finding recipes, all of that are crowd pleasers for our family. We're a family of 10. We have 8 children, so we're feeding a lot of people. And not only are we feeding a lot of people, we're feeding a lot of kids. And kids can be notoriously picky about food. So in today's video, we're gonna be sharing with you guys 3 different recipes. I'm not sure how you guys like these to be filmed. So he's kind of doing like a little bit of just sort of talking while he's cooking. And if I need to, I'll jump in and do little voiceovers and explain anything I need to explain further. But yeah, we're trying to figure out kind of a flow for these. Like I said, this is the 3rd video that we've done that is a dinners of the week. And you guys seem to really be enjoying them and showing us when you guys have made the recipes and your family loves them and enjoys them. So that's it. We're just a big family. He's not a professional chef. I'm not a professional chef. This week, none of the recipes were made by me. They were all made by him. Neither one of us are professionals. It's just sort of over the years what we found that our family likes and works for us. I make a lot of different content here covering all kinds of different topics of sort of large family life and motherhood and things like that. But if you enjoy the cooking content, we do some recipes and hauls and stuff like that. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to subscribe because there is more of that to come. So let's go ahead and get into this week's recipes. Okay, so the first one, and this is one of my very favorite ones, one that I begged him to figure out, is a Benihana knockoff fried rice. I love Benihana's fried rice. It is my favorite thing in the world. Benihanas are nowhere near us. The closest one is Atlanta, and anytime we travel to a city where there is a Benihana, I am there with bells on. So I did request that he learn to make a knockoff. He made his own sort of fried rice. We started making that when Rosie came home. When we adopted Rosie from China, we started kind of trying to figure out how to cook some different Asian meals at home. And we never really mastered the fried rice. She kind of always like looked at us like, oh, it's a nice try, guys. Thanks for trying. But I kind of said like, hey, how about you try to master like the Benihana kind of fried rice? And since he's been working on that, everybody loves it. It's so, so good. So this first one is like a Benihana fried rice with a teriyaki chicken.
All right, first up for our fried rice. Now remember, we are a family of 10, so we have a lot of people to feed. If you have a smaller size family, if you want 4 to 6 servings, I would cut everything I'm telling you in half. But again, for our large family, I'm going to tell you exactly what we used. Working with 4 carrots, 2 small white onions, and 2 bunches of green onions. Just chop all that stuff up, mix it together. Homemade garlic butter. This right here is where it's at. This is the secret sauce. We use 1 full stick of butter, about a tablespoon of soy sauce, maybe a clove or 2 of minced garlic, and a squirt of lemon. We're going to be using this stuff throughout the whole dish. That's going to go on the chicken, the rice, the vegetables. Basically, we're going to get our vegetables going first. As far as the chicken goes, I'm going to use 3 chicken breasts, patted them dry, salted and peppered both sides. We're going to throw that on and slice it up on the Blackstone, mix it all together, and you're going to see this magic happen. Okay, I hate showing you guys raw chicken, but I wanted to show you the marinade that we use. This is going to be the chicken we use for the teriyaki chicken. This is going to be the chicken we use for the teriyaki chicken. It has been refrigerating for about 30 minutes, just chilling in this bag of marinade. I did save a little bit because we're going to put some actually on the chicken while it's grilling. This is my teriyaki marinade right here. It's a specialty, goes back generations, not really. It's actually pretty easy, you guys. It's just equal parts butter, honey, brown sugar, soy sauce, oil, and then a little bit of garlic. I went 2 tablespoons of each one of those things with the exception of the garlic. I went maybe 1 clove and mixed it all together, heated it up, and then put 3 chicken breasts in the bag, dumped some of that marinade in there, and then refrigerated it for 30 minutes. This is going to cook on the side next to our other chicken, but this stuff's going to go in the fried rice. That's going to be served just as kind of the main entree. So one thing I forgot to mention was that you have to cook your rice ahead of time. Went ahead and cooked up 5 cups of rice, stuck it in that container, and it's going to chill until it's time to be thrown on the griddle along with our veggies, along with our chicken. We're going to mix all that stuff up together. All right, there she is. If you don't have a griddle to work with at home, this is still a very cookable, this is still a very doable dish. I mean, essentially you can just saute just about everything we're cooking. I'm using a griddle just because it's easy. You can probably even use a normal like tabletop size griddle or countertop size griddle, just depending on how much you need. I got a lot of mouths to feed. This is quick, this is painless. I've got it seasoning right now, so we're gonna get a layer of oil going before we throw our vegetables on. All right, another thing I love about the Blackstone is the counter space. I mean, I basically brought my entire kitchen out here to cook, this stuff. Oh, it smells so good. We're gonna get these nice and hot. As these are cooking, we're gonna throw the chicken on.
Days are passing faster ever since you've gone away. I miss you mostly all the time. So many things have changed.
Garlic butter time. All right, as your veggies are cooking, go ahead and start slicing up your chicken too. At least the chicken that's gonna go in the fried rice.
Son, I've gotta toughen up. I whisper to the mirror, remember how it felt before.
Leftover marinade. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and transfer the vegetables back to the bowl because they're done, but the chicken still needs a little bit more time. Once that's done, we'll throw the eggs on and the rice.
I miss you mostly all the time. I think I made a big mistake.
All right, teriyaki chicken's done. Now we're gonna throw the rice on and the egg, mix it all together, and get ready to eat. The last bit of garlic butter. We're gonna bring this bad boy home. I'm gonna soy sauce the heck out of this thing, throw on some sesame seeds, which is optional, but our family likes them, and then bowl it up. All right, this smells pretty good, and all the kids are literally gnawing.
Is so delicious. Okay, the next one is a one-pot dinner that is, or a one-pan dinner. It's a chicken and potatoes kind of meal, but it's all made in one dish. We love things like this that don't make too big of a mess in the kitchen, are a little easier to clean up, and in some cases faster, and some not, just depending on what it is that we're making. This one he marinates. We'll get into it, but it's a chicken and potato, a one-pan dinner.
All right, so first things first, we're gonna start off with our marinade. This is what we're gonna let the chicken soak in for probably about 30 to maybe 45 minutes before we cook. We've got some garlic powder, some onion powder, some paprika, some thyme, some oregano, salt, pepper, Dijon mustard, brown sugar. We're also going to melt some butter, mix it in with some olive oil, and we're gonna throw a couple tablespoons of orange juice in there as well. All in all, this thing is top-notch, very flavorful.
We've been dancing with our eyes from across the room. I've been calculating strategy when to say hello, I've been waiting for my moment. Someone swooped.
Okay, so next up is our chicken. We're gonna go with about maybe 2 or 3 pounds of chicken thighs. You could even use chicken legs if you wanted to. I always think that those roast better in the oven whenever you're doing like a 1-pan dish. So that's my preference. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my meat prepped. I'm gonna get it into the mixing bowl, and then we're gonna toss that marinade on there, let it soak in the refrigerator for about 35, 45 minutes, and then we'll toss it in the oven. So for the potatoes, we're gonna keep it super simple. We're gonna go with some small, maybe medium-sized reds. Just make sure you get them washed and cleaned up. I'm gonna cut those bad boys down. I might go quarters with them. You want them small enough where they can cook all the way through after about an hour in the oven. So whatever size you need. You can also throw some variations of potatoes in there. You can go yellows, you can go golds, you can go reds, whatever your heart desires. Alright, so we got our bed of reds ready to go. They're just waiting on the chicken. So while the chicken's marinating, we're gonna hit these with a little bit of olive oil. Just kind of coat those, and then add in some more salt and pepper. Alright, chicken is out. We're gonna go ahead and position it kind of in this bed of potatoes. The oven is almost preheated. We're gonna set this bad boy at 400 degrees, and we're gonna throw it in there for about an hour. Might be a little bit of a late dinner tonight, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm feeling a little crazy. I forgot in the fridge we had hamburgers last night, and I have some leftover just cut up onions. So I went ahead and sliced them a little bit further, and I'm just gonna sprinkle them in the dish here, just to kick it up a notch. You can throw different types of veggies in here if you want. Alright, there's a slight revision on the oven settings. It's actually 425 for about an hour and some change. So we're gonna check it after about 45 minutes and just see how the chicken's doing. Make sure it's not burning on top. That's looking good. A little bit more pepper. 1 pan oven roasted chicken and potatoes. It looks super yummy. I do have to shout out to Cooking with Claudia. I found her YouTube channel, found this recipe, she nailed it. Now one thing you could do here is maybe sprinkle some greenery over the top, maybe some rosemary. You probably could have cooked it with some rosemary. Some fresh parsley, I think is what I saw on her recipe, but I don't need it. My kids won't eat that, so we're just gonna keep it simple. Those onions look good, the potatoes look good. Let's get this served up.
Again, that's another crowd pleaser, and there's a lot of things in there that you can change out for your liking and what your family likes and what works for you or what you have on hand. And now for the last recipe. This one is just a taco soup. There are tons of different versions of this recipe out there. I feel like everybody kind of makes it a little bit differently. I learned this recipe from my mom, and we actually make it a little bit differently than my mom makes it. This is one that is so easy. You can make it in the pot, like sort of right when you want to eat it, or you can start it and put it in the crock pot and leave it for the day. There's different ways that you can make this one depending on the time that you have. You can use ground turkey or ground beef. There's lots of variations to this one as well, but it's sort of a crowd pleaser. Definitely, it's been very rainy and dreary here, so we haven't been able to do as much outdoor grilling and stuff like that as we like. So sometimes these sort of comfort foods are just that. They are comfort foods, and they fill up our bellies and are warm when it is, you know, kind of dreary and rainy and nasty out. So this last one is our taco soup recipe.
All right, so first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and brown about 1.5 pounds of ground beef. And then once that's done, I'm gonna season it with some taco seasoning and kind of let that simmer for a couple minutes. Then I'm gonna add in some pinto beans, some kidney beans, a can of Rotel, a can of green chilies, a can of diced tomatoes, and some cream cheese. Once that's all done, we're gonna stir it all.
Windows wide, the curtains fly to catch the evening breeze. Without you here to keep me warm, believe I'd rather freeze. Believe I'd rather freeze. How long can we walk that line between the sea and sand? How long can we buy?
So now that we got everything mixed together, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat up a little bit and bring this to a boil. Let it simmer for a little bit, and then we're gonna get our cream cheese in there and really kick this thing up a notch. Time for some cream cheese. A big one? Who knows? Just toss it in there. And then just kind of break it up. As this thing's cooking, it's gonna melt that cheese away, but you wanna make sure you mix it up, otherwise you're gonna run into kind of clumps of cream cheese like that. Let it thicken up just a hair and then serve it.
Another song.
Sprinkle over some cheese, some tortilla chips, taco soup. That's it. You have mud on your face.
I hope you guys enjoyed those. Like I said, I feel like it's all kind of on hand. And this week was definitely heavy in the like comfort foods. There really wasn't a lot of like fresh this week's video. I would like to point out that we just randomly pick dinners that we know we haven't filmed before, we haven't shared with y'all before, and filmed those. So it's not like 3 nights in a row we ate fried rice and chicken, potatoes and chicken, and then taco soup. They weren't eaten consecutively, if that makes sense. So these are just 3 different recipes to share with you guys. Again, as the weather starts to warm up and it's sunny out and we can get outside and do some more of our outdoor cooking and the weather is hot and stuff, we'll start sharing some more sort of like summer salads and lighter recipes and things that are heavier on the fresh vegetables and stuff like that. We try to keep a balance here, you know, and we're just real about the kind of stuff that we eat and the kind of stuff that we like and our family likes, and it works for us. So if you try any of these recipes, like I said, be sure to tag us and let us know. But that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this week's Dinners of the Week, and I will see y'all again very soon. Bye.